Hello everyone, this is Joe, Four Soft Corners here again, and today I'm going to have something a little bit different. So if anybody watched my last video, I showed off the first half of pickup from ComC of a bunch of different baseball cards, and then I mentioned in this video I was going to show off something different. This is cards from the Harry Potter film franchise. So I just want to warn everybody, if that's not your thing or not what you came to see, then I fully understand that, and I'll see you next video when I'm back to sports cards. But if anybody is into it or just wants to see something different, then we'll have something different here today. So I'll just start off by giving a little bit of a background. So I will fully admit, the first couple years that the films were coming out, which I believe it started in 2000 or 2001, I honestly kind of made fun of people that were into it, just because I didn't understand it and I knew it was about magic, but it was like, oh, why do you want to watch that, you nerd, or something like that. So so it was a couple, I mean, it was around the time the fourth film, I think, it just came out. I got talked into watching the first film and I really liked it, and then I watched the second and the third, and then I believe the fourth had just come out. So then I watched that and then couldn't wait until the next one would come out. So then I started reading the books. So I started with the fifth book and then read the sixth book, and by that time the seventh book was not out yet. So I remember actually pre-ordering that, because that was, if anybody is into it or saw it at the time, like, that was a huge thing. Well, first off, I mean, you used to pre-order DVDs and everything like that. I don't really know that there was a huge need for it, but because they made it available, I always would think, well, I don't want it to sell out and have to wait weeks to watch or read this. So I think I pre-ordered the seventh book from Walden Books, because I think there were some extras that came with it, and I remember, I think they had like a midnight release for it. I think I just picked it up the next day after work, but I think it just ended up that I had off that following week or something, had a week vacation planned from work, and I think I read the book within like 3 or 4 days. I pretty much was just reading nonstop. So, like I said, what initially started as making fun of people that were into it just grew into a franchise I loved. And I mean, it's one of those things that anybody that's into it, anytime it's on TV, which it's on TV a lot, you just end up watching parts of it, or I don't know. So it's just always been something I liked. And then the card aspect of it, which I never really even knew existed, recently, it was about a couple of weeks or so before the National, when it set up at my local card show, just trying to sell some stuff to gain more funds for the National. There's been a guy that sets up that has a bunch of non-sport stuff, and every time I found myself just looking at his table and his showcases more and more, because all the different stuff just from Marvel and all these different sitcoms and shows, and it just always gains my attention, and it's just always something really neat and something I kind of wanted to get into. So then I think he just picked up somewhere, I noticed he had a stack of these costume relic cards from the movies. I think he just got it at a good deal somewhere, so I had asked about him, and he gave me a good deal on 2 of them, and had I known, I would have bought all of them. But so I knew, I ran into him at the National, and then I know he had said he was sending the rest to ComC then, so then I kept checking, and once they were posted on ComC, then I bought a couple of the ones that I knew, or that were his also. So so I'll save that for the end. And then I just picked up some different base cards. So So what I know for sure, it was I'll just start showing some cards. These are like acetate cards. So I have it covered here. It was a company called Artbox, who, pretty sure they're no longer in business, produced these sets, and I don't think they started making them until, I'm not sure what year, but I think it was for the third movie, which is The Prisoner of Azkaban. And I should also said this from the beginning. I've pretty much spoken general terms so far, but I'm probably going to throw out some names and names of movies and characters and stuff, and possibly some plot points that could be spoilers if nobody has watched it. So if you plan on watching it, maybe avoid this. But without going into a lot of detail about what I'm saying as far as the names and everything, some people may be lost, but I just want to throw that out there. And if anybody has any questions about anything I say, you can just shoot a question in the comments there and I'll try and answer it. But so yeah, I think it was along the third movie is when they started the first set that was released, and then going forward, I think for subsequent movies started making them, and then I think they went back and made them for the first and second movies. So I think these ones I think are from, I believe, The Order of the Phoenix, which is the fifth movie. So for some of these base cards, my two favorite movies are, well, I don't know, let's go back and forth on this. I would say my two favorite overall of the franchise are the third one, which is The Prisoner of Azkaban, and the sixth one, which is The Half-Blood Prince. So, like I said, I wish I would have known about these a lot earlier, because at this point, I mean, any like sealed boxes of these yet they're very hard to find and are in the thousands of dollars. So there's autographs from this. I mean, I would say the biggest chase is the autographs in the set, and some of them from the main characters, like Hermione is played by Emma Watson, and Daniel Radcliffe, who plays Harry Potter, and then Rupert Grint, who plays Ron Weasley. I think are the three definitely most sought after. I believe Emma Watson's actually the most expensive normally. And any of those, if you see them, they usually sell for thousands of dollars. So that's why I believe the boxes are so expensive. So those first ones, I believe, were from Order of the Phoenix. So some of these base cards I was just picking up. Like I said, they're few and far between, just anything to find. These were ones I said from ComC, so I just looked for ones on there. I mean, some of them I think people just try and take advantage of the name, and because, like I said, I mean, I think the last film came out in 2011. I don't know. I think they had like one or two releases. I think they had one called like Heroes and Villains that may have released after the films were done. So, but we're talking about like at least 10 years since any of these sets were made, and closer to 15 to almost 20 to the ones, some of these ones I'm showing off are from. So I think anybody that has them might just be trying to, I mean, just the effect of everything in the hobby, like just putting a premium on all the like goats and stuff like that. So I mean, obviously just a lot of any base card that has Harry Potter on is usually seems like it's really overpriced, but like I I said, I'm not an expert at this in any way. I just kind of got into this. And so these ones I'm showing are all, I think they're called prismatic foils from Prisoner in Azkaban. So these ones, like I said, with not a lot being out there, or being able to maybe easily like put together just any of the base sets or anything, I kind of just tried to go with themes. And like I said, this was one of my favorite movies, so I picked out just, I thought these prismatic ones were cool. I think there was a retail and a hobby. I think some of these were exclusive to retail. I'm not exactly sure, but I kind of just tried to pick out some of the ones that were more like the artistic versions of these, and kind of went along the same themes. Like I was going with kind of like a dark theme with the, again, if you've never seen the movie, you're not gonna understand, but with like some of the werewolf and dementors, and then I thought with the dementors this Patronus card went well with it. So I don't know, these are just some random pickups, and I definitely want to pick up more. Like I said, I'm not an expert at it all, so I don't know exactly what I'm picking up, but so then this is, I believe, was like a promotional card. So, well, this helps with the year. So this was before the film came out. I think this was just a promotional card, and then the rest of this set, and I think that one there was actually an update set for, so I'm assuming probably around 2004 is when these released. So yeah, like 18 years old these are. So anybody that collects sports, you know how stuff dries up so quickly. So I think it's kind of likewise for this. I thought this one was pretty cool just because it had the 3 main characters on there. Which I said, like, any of them that are for sale with any of the 3 main characters on ComC at least are kind of go at a premium. This is another one of my favorite characters. This is Dobby, and this is from the Chamber of Secrets, which I don't think they put the years on the back. So this was the second movie, but I'm not exactly sure when they released the set. I know it was not chronologically, because they, like I said, I think they didn't start making the cards until the 3rd movie came out. So, but I thought that was a pretty cool one. And this is just a base card of one of the main characters of Ron from, I would say, was probably my favorite film in the franchise, is Half-Blood Prince. Like I said, usually anything depicting any of the main characters kind of goes at a premium, or from what I see at least, but this one was like 75 cents or so. So, and also, like I said, I'm definitely do not know a whole lot. I just got into this, so if anybody does know much about this, if you would like to lend any knowledge to me at all in the comments, if you know more than what I'm stating here, I'd definitely greatly appreciate that. Again, these were, I think this was a separate set in itself, that the whole set was 3D. They were called 3D lenticular. So some of these were kind of really expensive on there too, and just picked 2 up that were like $1 or $2. Like I said, I think that's Ron, so I think this depicts the 3 main characters as well, so I grabbed that one. And then I grabbed this one because it's Harry and his owl Hedwig. So these are just some of the base cards and some foils I had there. Like I said, I definitely like to pick more of these up. It's just, I'd probably be better off maybe looking on eBay and trying to find like a big lot or something of them. I definitely check eBay. I have a couple saved searches for, like I said, any of the autos are probably well out of my price range. And one thing I do know, I wish I knew what set it was for sure. If anybody would be interested in looking at buying any of the wax from this, just be careful, because I think it might be, I'm not sure which movie it was, but there was one release that all the autographs were redemptions. It could possibly be the Chamber of Secrets, but I'm not sure. But I think you just got a card that said it looked like what the auto card would, but it said redemption, and then you had to send that back or fill something out and send it in. But just beware, if you would buy any sealed wax, which I said is really expensive. There's one set that you can't, you could pull the redemption cards out, but the company's no longer in business, so you're not going to be able to redeem them at all. So like I said, I myself don't know for sure, but I just want to throw, if you are looking into buying any sealed wax, just do some research to make sure that it does have live autos in and stuff like that. So excuse me. So like I said, the biggest chase cards are the autographs, and then they also have, I don't have any of them yet, they're called film cell relics. They have actually two little pieces of, I think from everything I've seen, I think they're film cells from the trailers. I haven't picked any of those up yet, but I'd like to, just to see what they look like. I mean, it's kind of hard to see online, like what the film cell itself is. You can kind of make some of them out, but definitely in person, when you hold up to light, I'm sure you're able to see it better. But so there's those, and then there's what would be like a relic card for sports. They're just called costume cards, which I'll show some of these off. So these first two are the first two I picked up from that card show. And like I said, this was one of the first Harry Potter cards I picked up at all. So this was kind of part of the theme I was going from the start. These are, if anybody doesn't watch it, kind of the bad guys, or part of the bad guys. So this one I just thought was really cool, just because of the, I mean, it's just all artwork. It's not any actual picture. And then just a plain black relic from the robes there. This one's numbered out of 260, and so that's the only thing too. Some of these character cards, like this just says generic Death Eater costume, so it's not telling you what character wore it. And then for some, there's student, I'll show the other ones later, it kind of just generically writes it, but then other ones state what actor, who he played, and who they played, and what they wore. So like I said, since this was one of the first pickups, I thought that was kind of like a theme. I started with the darker side, and that's why I picked up those two acetate, like kind of like Death Eater themed ones. And that was my initial, what I was going to do. And then as I looked into it more, I decided to focus on kind of the main characters, maybe is what I'll do going forward. So this one I thought was really cool. There's definitely more. This is authentic costume material worn by David Thewlis as Remus Lupin in Prisoner in Azkaban. This one's numbered to 2900, which compared to a lot of the others seems like a very high print run, but as you can see in the picture here, and if anybody knows the movies, so he's turning into a werewolf right here, and I'm assuming there was probably a lot of material for this, because I'm assuming he's ripping apart his coat there, so I'm assuming they may have went through a lot of these. So I don't know if that's why the print run's higher, but just with like the vintage tweed or whatever jacket here, that one has a little bit of a neater look to it. And then you also have Sirius in the card. So this was one of the first ones I picked up and really liked. So And then, oh yeah, I already said it's numbered to 2900 there. So then these, so those two, that's what started. The first ones I bought, the rest so far were from ComC, and then the rest of these are from ComC. So here's another one that I said is just kind of generic. This one just says authentic costume material worn by Slytherin students in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This one's numbered out of 570. So like I said, this is probably my favorite film in the franchise, so that's why I kind of picked up some of these from that movie. And these next two I thought were really cool. This is the Remus Lupin one, was a more main character, and this is another, not one of the three big characters, which I'd like to pick some up from. Some of the Daniel Radcliffe ones aren't too expensive. Like I said, all of Emma Watson stuff is definitely seems like it comes at a premium. So, but this is authentic costume material worn by Bonnie Wright as Ginny Weasley, Half-Blood Prince. This one's numbered out of 460. So this is from the scene in the Burrows when the Death Eaters come and attack. And they run out in the middle of the night. So this is kind of like pajamas, but with the different colors, and I thought that was pretty cool there. And then lastly, I have this one. So I mentioned so far there's the film cell cards, the autographs, which I think are the biggest chase, the costume cards, and then they also make what are called prop cards, which some of the prop cards are kind of just like costume cards. Some of them are things that people wore, but then there's a bunch of different stuff like used in actual props, like there's curtains and there's all different kind of things. There's pieces of wands and cauldrons, and there's a lot of neat stuff like that. So I picked this one up. I thought this was pretty neat. So this is from the Half-Blood Prince movie as well, and this is tied to Ron. So this is a Harry Potter prop card, contains authentic prop material used in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and this is, it says, these usually tell you what it's from, and then they usually try and put a picture on the front showing, like connecting it to that scene or what it's used. So this is Ron's hospital wing bed sheets. And this one's numbered out 190. So this is just a piece of sheet here. But some of these I just think are pretty cool because it's actually what they use to some of the prop materials. So yeah, so far that's all I have. I constantly am checking searches to find more. Like I said, a lot of these kind of come at premiums, and I think just because it's been so long since the full releases have been released that I think they're definitely harder to find, and I think people price them accordingly because of that. So I'd like to pick more up, just have to try and keep checking just to see if any pop up at deals or anything like that. But like I said, going forward, definitely something I'd like to continue picking up. So if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them. And like I said, if anybody has any more knowledge than the very little I have, I definitely would appreciate that. Let me know what you thought of this video. If I know we're at 25 minutes here, so I know if this is not anything you're interested in at all, this would probably not that entertaining to you, so I appreciate if anybody did stick around to listen to it. But I mean, ultimately, what the hobby is to me is collecting the things I enjoy and the things I'm passionate about. And this is, for over 15 years now, has been one of my number one things that I really enjoy. Just watching and everything like that. So this is almost perfect to tie in together to collect some of the cards from it too. Like I said, I wish I would have known about it earlier. It would have been a lot cheaper and a lot easier to obtain, but I'll just pick up what I can for now. But so I appreciate everyone checking this out, and I will be back with some normal sports videos next time. But for now, I just want to say thank you, and just remember that any card can be a great looking card, even if it has 4 soft corners. Thank you.